we, looking at the equation, what do we know about this equation? Quadratic, because it's a degree 2. Quadratic, it's degree 2. All right, now, when you come to plug in the x values, you're going to have to be careful that you're going to take the x value and then you're going to replace that says x into your equation with that value. Okay? So I'm going to just write the first one just because I don't have too much room here. But. So that's going to be 10 squared minus 30 times 10 plus 125. Right? Okay. Now, BEDMAS says I have to do my square first, so that's 100, minus, I can do the bracket here, so 30 times 10 is 300. So I have 100 minus 300 plus 125. What did you get? Minus 75. Okay? Now you can do the next one with 15. What did you get for that? 25? 100. Yeah, that's what that seems to be too low. So negative 125, right? 100? I heard 25 for some reason. Okay, now when you put 20 in, what do you get?
Negative 75.
And then 0? Okay. So these are your y values, okay? When you do your subtraction, what are you going to get for your first difference? So for my first one, I'm just going to change the color so it doesn't. So that's negative 75. For this one, it's going to be negative 25. And then it's going to be 25 and 75. Is that what we got? Okay? Then doing the second difference. I think it's negative 50. Okay. So again, looking at the second difference, my second difference is constant. I know it's quadratic.
Is the second one negative or plus?
Which one?
Plus 25?
This one?
Yeah.
No. Negative 100 plus 75 is negative 25.
The second one is negative. Negative 50.
That's what positive. The 50 is negative.
So all of them are positive. Sorry, yes. They're all positive. Yep, you're right. They're all positive. They all have to be the same. Yes. Negative 25. Take away negative 75. What? Negative 25. Take away negative 75. That's 50. All of these are positive 50. So all of these have to be positive 50. Okay? So I need to go up by 5s on the x, and on the y, I am going to go by 25. All right, so that's negative 25, 50, negative 100, sorry, negative 75, negative 100, going up by 5. Okay, so 5, 0, 10, negative 75, 15, negative 100, 20 is back to negative 75, and 25 is back to 0. So if I graph this, it's going to look like a quadratic after all. So, for a linear relation, if I'm looking at an equation, how would the equation look like and what's the degree? Yeah, so it could look like ax plus by plus c equals 0, or it could look like y equal mx plus b, right? So everything could be on one side. 1, right? So your degree is 1. If I'm looking at a linear equation with a table of values, what do I notice?
First differences is constant.
Yeah, so the first difference is constant. And if I'm looking at the graph, how would the graph look like? Straight line. And it could look like it's going up or it's going down, right? I love these arrows. Okay, now comparing a quadratic relation, what would the equation of a quadratic relation look like?
X squared plus c equals 0 or y equal.
Okay, so we see it more like y equals something x squared plus bx plus c. Okay, guys, we're going to look at three different forms of quadratic. Okay, this is one of the forms, and this is called the standard form. Okay, so this is the most expanded standard form. Okay. We're going to look at three different forms in this course. Okay. The important part is to have two. Okay. What do we know in the table of value? So the second difference is constant. And the graph is going to be parabola. It's a parabola, okay? So it could look like this or down, opening downward. So a question could be like this: examine each question, determine the degree and the type of relation it represents, linear, quadratic, or either. So you're going to say it's either linear or quadratic or neither of the both, neither quadratic nor linear. So if I'm looking at the first one, what can you tell me? What's the degree on this one? Degree 1. So what kind of function is it?
Linear.
Linear. Second one, what's the highest degree? Degree 3. Is it quadratic? Is it linear? It's neither. So it's neither quadratic nor linear. We don't learn what kind of function is this, but for those of you who know these things, it's a cubic function, okay? But for the purpose of this course, we just say neither. Second one?
Degree the second.
Third one, sorry. Yeah, degree 2.
2.
And type is
Quadratic.
quadratic. So I'm gonna let you work on these two questions, the tables, okay? The graphs, I know they're not 100% clear in your notes, but you can trace them, okay? What do we know about the first one? What type is it?
Quadratic. The second.
Yeah, so it's a quadratic, right? We know the type is quadratic, and then the reason it's because it's a parabola shape. Yeah, parabola. Yeah. And the second one, it's linear, and we know that because it's a straight line. Okay, so I'm gonna let you or leave you to do the two tables. Now, in the meanwhile, before I let you start working on that, if you guys look at the yellow sheet, it tells you what to expect every day. Today we covered the first lesson, which is modeling quadratic relations. Your homework for today is in your homework booklet. So this is your homework booklet. This is the one that you get to use on the test, if you want. And then it's page 1 and 2. Page 2 and 3. So if you go page 2 and 3, this is your homework for today. You have lots of time to finish the homework in class, okay? So you don't have to take any with you home.